Hello, welcome back to class. Today's topic is participation of persons with disability in physical activities and body fitness. We know that children come to school from different community to learn, to play, and to interact with their mates, teachers, and others. And among these children that come to school, we have those with good character, bad character, we have the strong, we have the weak children, we have normal, and we have abnormal children, and so on. But the government has given it as a law that each child has the right to attend the school like every other person. So in this lesson, we are going to be looking at the different types of children that come to school. So the first thing we'll be looking at is the meaning of disability. A disability is a physical or mental impairment that limits one or more daily life performance. That is, the person will not be able to do things within his or her age grade. If, for example, the person is 6 years, there are some certain things that a child that is 6 years old is supposed to be doing. But because this person has one issue or the other, he or she is not able to carry out that task alongside with his age group. Then when we talk impairment, impairment is a problem in the body function or structure that limits the person from carrying out a major task, just as I was explaining before. It's just that thing that is there. It can be maybe it's the hand, it can be maybe it's the leg that is limiting the person from being able to carry a task that the age group or the peers are supposed to be doing. Examples of disability, we have learning disability, physical disability, mental disability, emotional disability, hearing disability, and the gifted child. So I will be explaining them one after the other. Physical disability is when a person is unable to move and use the body freely. And physical disability is also known as motor disability. The person is having issues with the body, is not able to move his or her body freely. That is what is known as physical disability. Mental disability, this is when a person has a general low level of thinking. The person's reasoning is very low. As a result, the person cannot cope with daily life tasks and action. The person is trying, I can't remember. You ask the person questions, the person is finding it difficult to think. His thinking faculty is very low. It is also known as mental retardation. So this is what is known as mental disability. The general level of the person's thinking is poor, is low. So the person cannot assimilate very fast. Disability is also an example of disability. Hearing is this one is a common one. When a person has a partial, some the hearing will just be totally lost. The person cannot hear at all. That is, the person cannot use both ears to hear. That is the meaning of total hearing loss. The person cannot use the two to hear. Then when they say partial, the person can use one, maybe the right one, only the right one to hear, or only the left one to hear. It is also known as deafness. In this partial or total hearing loss, it's also a way that the person will be close to you, but the person cannot hear you unless you shout. When you shout or you scream, then the person can hear you. Or in some cases, you have to go very close to the person and talk inside the person's ear before that person can hear. That kind of person has what? Hearing disability. Another disability is learning disability. This is when a person is a slow learner. We see this one in most kids. They find it difficult to cope with their age mates in learning in school. When you are teaching them, it's not as if the person is dull. It's just a trait that the person has. So it's a disability. The person is very slow. Things that his age mates can do in class, even when he's being taught, he's not following, he's not understanding it. This is what known as learning disability. The person has a low assimilation when it comes to what? Learning. So these kind of people, it takes time for them to be able to learn and to know what they are doing. Disability is visual disability. This is when a person can only see partially or is not able to see at all. When it's not able to see at all, it is called blindness. That's when you hear they'll tell you this person is blind. The person cannot see. In some cases, it's very bad. When it's very bad, that is when you see the person, somebody is holding his or her to be moving around. The person cannot go on his own. But when it's a partial one, that is when you see the person. Most times the person will be what? Using glasses. When with the aid of lens, the person can see in a little way. But when it's totally bad, it is now known as what? That's when they will now classify the person that this person is what? Blind. Then emotional disability. This one is when a person is unable to meet with the environmental daily demands, like maintaining good relationship with their mates. They cannot relate with friends. You see some persons, they are so moody. When you ask them, they don't have friends. They are always on their own. Even with their teachers, they find it so difficult to relate with their peers. This one is emotional disability. The person cannot flow with the environment, cannot flow with people around him or her. You always seeing this kind of persons, they are always on their own. This person is suffering from what? Emotional disability. One is the gifted child. This is a child that is exceptionally good in one or more tasks. The child is just totally good in whatever the child is being called to do, in as much as is something that the age mate is expected to do. You see the child excelling in that thing. He or she learns very fast. Before you teach that child, you see the child giving it back to you. Whatever that child is doing, the child has a very sharp reasoning. The child is very smart. The child exhibits superiority to his or her age mate. The child learns very fast, and because of this trait in the child, you see the child have an edge over his other peers. This kind of person is known as what? A gifted child, because it does his thing in an exceptional way. Any task that is being given to him or her, you see him or her putting in his best, even when he know this thing looks difficult, he is ready to try. And as he's trying, you see the child will excel in it. This kind of kids, these kinds of children are known as genius. We call them genius because they are very good. They think very fast. They are good in whatever they are doing. So these are some categories of different people. As I said at the beginning of the lessons, I said children are what? Different. Just as Mr. A is different, that is also the way Mr. B is different. We have weak children, we have bad character, we have good characters, we have strong children, we have normal children, and we have the what? Abnormal children. But in all, in as much as irrespective of whatever category that we find ourselves, the only thing we just need to do is to do what? To build ourselves on how to do things well. Here we'll be ending this lesson today. Bye for now. See you in our next class.